first Saturday after the divorce. I still woke up at 6:30, didn't even need an alarm. For 34 years, that had been our routine. I went into the kitchen, filled the coffee maker, took down 2 mugs. Mine was plain blue, hers had tiny sunflowers around the rim. I poured both, picked up the second mug and started toward the dining room. Then I stopped. There wasn't anyone sitting at the table. There wasn't going to be. I stood there for a few seconds before pouring the coffee down the sink. Back then, I thought loneliness would be the hardest part of divorce. Looking back, I was afraid of the wrong thing. My name is Frank. I'm 61 years old. I taught American history at the same high school for 36 years. A few months after I retired, my wife and I got divorced. 34 years of marriage. No affair, no shouting, no slammed doors. People always seem disappointed when I tell them that. They expect some dramatic reason. There wasn't one. Somewhere along the way, we stopped being husband and wife. We became 2 decent people sharing a house. Eventually, we admitted it. The divorce was quiet, almost polite. Friends tried to make me feel better. One of the guys from school slapped me on the shoulder. "You'll enjoy the freedom." My younger brother laughed. "No more asking permission to buy fishing gear." I laughed because that's just what you do, but none of it sounded like freedom to me. When I unlocked my front door every evening, the house wasn't exciting. It wasn't peaceful. It was just quiet. The first few weeks weren't especially painful. They were just strange. I'd fold towels exactly the way Linda liked them. Halfway through, I'd remember she wasn't coming back to complain if they were crooked. At the grocery store, I kept putting 2 yogurts into the cart. Vanilla for me, strawberry for her. I'd catch myself before checking out, put one back. Every morning, I'd still reach for the hazelnut coffee creamer she always used. I don't even like hazelnut. Funny how habits stick around long after the reason for them is gone. Friday evenings were the hardest. For years we'd gone to the same little Italian restaurant. Nothing fancy. The owner knew our names. The waitress knew Linda always ordered tea instead of coffee. One Friday I got in the car without even thinking. I drove halfway there before I realized what I was doing. I pulled into a gas station parking lot, sat there with the engine running, then drove home. I wasn't hungry anymore. Around that time, something else started changing. The phone rang less often. Couples we used to spend time with stopped inviting me over. Not because they were mean. I honestly don't think they knew what to do. Invite just me? Invite both of us separately? Stay out of it? I guess most people don't know what to do, so they end up doing nothing. They do nothing. Before long, the weekends became empty. One afternoon, I opened the garage. There sat my golf clubs, fishing rods, an old bicycle with flat tires. All the things people tell you retirement is supposed to be about. I looked around for a minute. Then I closed the garage door again. None of it seemed worth doing by myself. That evening, my old friend Mike called. "You watching the game?" "A little." "Come over." "I don't know. We've got burgers." I almost said yes. Instead, I heard myself answer, "Maybe another time." "No problem. We'll do it another weekend." After I hung up, I realized I'd been saying that to everyone. Maybe another time. Maybe next week. Maybe later. Nobody had pushed me away. I'd quietly stepped away first. I just hadn't noticed it happening. A rainy Tuesday kept me inside the house. I started cleaning out a kitchen drawer. Old batteries, rubber bands, takeout menus from restaurants that had closed years ago. Then I found one of Linda's old wall calendars, 3 years old. I sat down at the kitchen table and started flipping through it. Every month was full. Birthday dinner, church breakfast, dinner with the Harrisons, Emma's soccer game, movie night, neighborhood barbecue, doctor appointment, coffee with friends. Everything had its place. I sat there looking at those little handwritten notes for a long time. It finally hit me. The marriage hadn't just been a relationship. It had been the frame holding together almost everything else. When it ended, the calendar disappeared with it. I hadn't only lost my wife, I'd lost the rhythm of my days. No wonder everything felt so unfamiliar. That Friday, Mike called again. "You busy?" "No." "Good. Then you're coming." This time, I didn't make an excuse. Breakfast was at a little diner near the old high school. Mike was there, so was Carl, another retired teacher. We talked about ordinary things. The weather, our knees, whether kids still learned cursive, who had finally given up mowing his own lawn.
Nothing important happened. Nobody solved my problems. But when I got back to my truck, I realized 90 minutes had gone by without me thinking about the divorce once. That surprised me. The next week I went again. A few weeks after that, I started volunteering at the public library one afternoon each week. Mostly I shelved donated books, sorted magazines, carried heavy boxes for the librarian. Nobody introduced me as the divorced guy. Nobody treated me carefully. One volunteer asked, "You coming next Thursday?" "Yeah." "Good, we can use another pair of hands." That was it. They expected me to show up. I hadn't realized how much I'd missed feeling expected somewhere. About 6 months later, Linda came by to pick up a few boxes she'd left in the attic. I helped carry them to her car. We stood in the driveway for a minute. No anger, nothing left to argue about. She looked at me and smiled. "You look different." I shrugged. "I guess I am." She nodded. "So am I." Neither of us asked whether we should have stayed married. Neither of us apologized again. We'd already done all that. I guess some questions just get too old to matter. She closed the trunk, waved, drove away. I walked back inside and looked at the calendar hanging on my kitchen wall. It wasn't packed anymore, but it wasn't blank either. Friday breakfast, library, Emma's piano recital, dentist, dinner with my brother. I picked up a pen, thought for a second, then wrote one more thing. Call Mike. Not because I needed something, just because friends shouldn't always be the ones making the first call. The next morning I woke up at 6:30 again. Old habits don't disappear overnight, I guess. I made coffee, just one cup this time. I carried it onto the front porch. A neighbor walked his golden retriever. A delivery truck rolled slowly down the street. Somewhere a lawnmower started. The sun was just coming up over the trees. The neighborhood sounded exactly the way it always had. For the first time in a long while, the quiet didn't feel empty. It just felt like morning. I thought divorce had taken away the person I lived with. Looking back, what I really missed was the life we'd quietly built around those ordinary days.